OK, it's time for the quickfire round. Yep, let's get straight into it. Barrage the Farage. Neil is first up. Good evening.
Hello, Nigel. Welcome to Aberdeen.
Thank you.
Do you think Scottish voters should vote tactically at the next election?
Yes.
There you go.
No, sorry. No, I do. I mean, look, you know, our first-past-the-post system can produce very bizarre results in politics. You know, I thought what the leader of the Scottish Tories said was perfectly sensible, and it was, if you think the most important... you may not, but if you think the most important question is for Scotland to stay part of Brexit Britain and work together for our future, if you think that, then in my opinion, you should vote tactically. And if you're... I mean, Aberdeen's classic of that. You've got one constituency here that the Conservatives could win at the next election, and one where they've got not a cat's chance in hell. So I think if that's what motivates you, voting tactically makes sense. I'd much rather have PR, where we vote for parties we actually like and believe in. We've got what we've got. What say you?
Well, I have voted tactically once before, but we ended up getting the SNP, so... I wanted to keep Labour out, so...
Yeah, well, OK. Well, if you wanted to keep Labour out and you got the SNP, you won in a sense.
Oh, well.
Neil, thank you very much indeed. Next up is Brian.
Good evening, Nigel.
Good evening.
With the UK gripped in a cost of living crisis and interest rates going up monthly and food inflation spiralling out of control, would you, if the Brexit vote was this year, still recommend us to leave?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Brexit was about becoming a self-governing, independent country, being able to make your own decisions, being able to make good decisions for your own country. Oh, and by the way, bad decisions as well for your own country, but being in control. Look, you know, there's so much. Anything that goes wrong is blamed on Brexit. Literally anything that goes wrong is blamed on Brexit. Take Scotland, take Aberdeen. If we got a proper Brexit, Aberdeen, like Norway on the other side, would have 200 miles of that North Sea as our exclusive economic fishing zone. And I tell you what, there wouldn't just be a thriving industry, fish prices would be lower. Brexit, you know, as I say, everyone's trying to blame everything on it. The fact is, at least we're now in control. What do you think?
Well, I voted leave, so I agree with you.
OK, thank you very much indeed. Cheers, Brian. OK, Bill, good evening.
Good evening, Nigel. My question is, Humza Yousaf seems determined to introduce a minimum income guarantee scheme for all adults in Scotland up to a maximum of £25,000 per annum. And this, of course, to be paid for by further increases in taxation for middle and high earners. Undoubtedly, this will be popular with the work-shy, alcoholics and drug users, of which we have plenty already. I think this is a mixture of desperation and insanity. What do you think, Nigel?
Joking aside, the level of drug deaths in Scotland are simply shocking. Simply shocking. I mean, they've more than doubled in the last 8 years, and they're going up at a very rapid rate. I mean, horrendous. You know, you can keep buying off the electorate. You can keep bribing the electorate. But in the end, someone has to pick up the tab. And under devolution, Scottish finances, they have become frankly disastrous. Even if the SNP won the next election, won a referendum and tried to rejoin the EU would say, no, your finances aren't good enough to be a member and to join the euro. Look, if you try to set a level like this 25,000, yes, of course, the ne'er-do-wells will be thrilled. But what about the aspirants? What about those young people, those on low pay that have got some ambition, that want to get on in the world? What you effectively do is put a glass ceiling on their aspirations, because you disincentivize them to earn more than that target. And that way lies madness. You know, you've got to have, to be successful, you've got to have aspiration. You've got to have ambition. You've got to have people that are successful and then pay taxes, which keeps those that can't look after themselves going. You can't just do it by dishing out subsidy. I'm sure that if the late, great Adam Smith were around today, he'd be horrified by this. I think you feel rather the same way.
Exactly. I think you just nailed it.
Thank you very much indeed, Bill. Very kind. OK, Linda.
Hi, Nigel. So Brent crude is currently at $78 per barrel. The crude price is now comparable to prices in 2018, where diesel prices at the pump were around £1.20 a litre. Prices are clearly higher now, but significantly higher last year, where it was nearly topping £2 a litre. Do you see a time soon where forecourt prices will be brought down significantly to help everyone with the cost of living crisis?
Well, I mean, unleaded prices are well down. Unleaded is now 144, 145. Quite why diesel's 15 points more when actually the wholesale price is the same remains a mystery. However, we may be producing some of our own oil that can be, you know, go through the fractional process and be turned into unleaded and into diesel. But let me tell you this. Most of our refineries have closed. Most of our refineries in Britain have closed. Do you know why? Because the highest electricity bills, the biggest disincentive to manufacture in this, it's why our aluminium smelters have gone, it's why many of our chemical plants have gone. And so actually, about 40% of our diesel comes from Russia. Russia. I mean, the madness of this. I'd love us to have, honestly, if renewable energy worked and wasn't subsidised and was zero carbon, I'd be thrilled. But it's not. And we're years away from having the proper storage capacity. We will, as Liam Halligan said a moment ago, we will be using hydrocarbons for decades to come. I think it'd be much better not just to produce as much of our own oil and gas as we possibly can, but also to process it into unleaded and diesel here. And if we did that, we get a damn sight better prices than we're currently getting.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you.
Now, one more. Michelle. Hello.
I'm so far north, it means a lot.
We're delighted to be here.
I was just wondering who you'd rather have a pint with, Alex Salmond or Nicola Sturgeon?
Oh, there's no question about that.
And why?
Do you know what? I probably shouldn't say this. Should I? Yeah. Oh, all right then. I got to tell you, the times that I've done debates with Nicola Sturgeon, been face to face with Nicola Sturgeon, walked past Nicola Sturgeon in corridors, I don't think I've met anybody in politics anywhere in the world that I found so personally, deeply arrogant and unpleasant as Nicola Sturgeon. Alex Salmond. I mean it. Alex Salmond, I think the use of the word independence is nonsense when for all of those years he wanted to be part of the European Union. Yeah. You can't be an independent country and be a part of the European Union. Yeah. Although his current EFTA proposal, I have to say, I still wouldn't want to do that, but it's slightly better. But Alex Salmond, you can believe what you want to believe over court cases, over allegations, over all the rest of it. I've always thought Alex Salmond to be, actually, you know what? A larger-than-life, deeply flawed, but very, very human person. No problem having a few pints with Alex Salmond. None whatsoever. Thank you very much indeed. In a moment, I'm going to be joined...